Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back to Crazy Ball TV. Today, we have a great show. We're going to discuss about the Euro, Spain, Italy, England, Denmark. We're going to discuss a little bit about the Copa America, how I told you all it's going to be Brazil and Argentina. And we will top it off with some transfer windows. So today, it's going to be crazy. We're going to be debating. It's going to be passionate. So you know what to do. Let's go. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Doing good?
Yes,
Barcelona,
sir.
we got two Barcelona in the house.
We're in the house. Hey, we're all here in the building.
Today's going to be a great show, everybody. This is back to Crazy Ball TV. This is going to be amazing. These are some of our great of my peoples. So we got a few things we're going to discuss. We got the Euro, both games. I know y'all got a lot to say about it. We got the Copa, just like I predicted, it was gonna be Brazil and Argentina. And of course, we're gonna have to sprinkle a little bit of transfer in this because, you know, we wanna know what's going on. I mean, Barca, they claim they got money. Arsenal is linked to everybody, you know. I want to talk a little bit about Pogba and then, you know, see where Messi is, because it seems like Messi is still collecting that unemployment check. And y'all Barcelona fans need to educate us on what's happening out there, because this is ridiculous. All right, guys. So let's start with Spain and Italy. You know, what do you guys think? Starting with Mark.
Oh man, this one conflicted me. Spain played so beautifully during regulation, even in extra time. But man, Alvaro Morata, he missed it where it counted, and you know it's like a game of inches. And it's funny, he just became such a hero in one moment. I was like, the redemption. And then once he stepped up to take the pen, I was like, you can see the confidence like seeping away from him. And like, I honestly feel so sorry for him. But Italy's a great team. I'm not gonna lie. They're my favorites. I really don't see England beating them, but I'm sure we'll get to that. Yeah.
All right, Villa.
Yeah. When it comes to Spain, I just gotta say one thing. Pedri, Barca product, right? He's had a fantastic Euro, fantastic season with Barcelona, despite everything else. I just think that it was very unfortunate that they didn't make it through. But again, it was against a strong Italian team. You know, that back line of Italy, you know, you got Chiellini and Bonucci. You know, like Mourinho said, they need to go to Harvard and then open up a class, you know, on center back defending. So, but Morata definitely, to me, has never been in the play. I mean, even when he scored those goals, I never saw him as a hero, to be honest. I was just like, it was something where he felt like he was just in the moment and he had to make things happen. He wasn't at the right place at the right time, and you expect the striker to finish, but he's not your guy to carry you to the next stage of championship. I would have played what's his name? What's the guy from Wolves?
Adama. I will get to that. I have questions about that. I got questions. Yeah. Mike, you know, just top it off for us.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately Spain's performance is going to be sort of swept under the rug by Italy's success. People were slandering Luis Enrique coming into the tournament, saying he didn't carry any Madrid players. He left out Nacho and Sergio Ramos, players who had no business in the 26th, nonetheless 24. Luis Enrique he should be coach of the tournament for me. The way that he exploited space the entire tournament, his selection, going with players like Dani Olmo. I think Dani Olmo was just in the first team maybe for 2 years, maybe 1 year. Pedri at the age of 18. And I think unfortunately, what you have is a lot of Spanish media bringing a lot of pressure and attention, and
Right.
obviously the old rivalries. But it was also a team that played together. The Italians weren't the better team, but they played with more heart, especially going to the extra time. And of course, Italians and penalties. There's always going to be drama. There's always going to be, and of course, with Donnarumma, just absolutely incredible. He really he helped his transfer stock, even though more likely than not he's already signed with PSG. But
He went for free.
For free, and I think it sort of shows that, like Mark said, it's a game of inches. But when it comes down to it, that Spanish squad should be emulated. I think you'll see a lot of La Liga teams trying to set up with the false nine again. And Luis Enrique, if he steps away from Spain, he'll be in demand.
Now, I agree with that, but I remember Billas made a comment about Traore. This game needed somebody, an X factor. And the whole tournament, I'm thinking he probably going to play him in a third or fourth spot, but he should have changed something. The Italians, the Azzurrians their team was solid from the goalie to the front. Although they lost their best, I had to believe them to be their best player, they were still solid. He still brought somebody from, what's the name, from the bench, and they were still doing what they were supposed to do. To me, I believe that this is the only game that Mancini changed his tactics. He went back to the old Italian style of play, which is be solid at the back and hit you with a ferocious counterattack. Yeah. And that's how their goal came, right? And they were hitting Spain a few times, except that they could not put the ball in the back of the net. But I believe Enrique should have thrown in, an X factor, which was Traore. What do you think, Dilo?
The physicality that Traore has on the speed definitely would have tested Bonucci and Chiellini in the back. Of course, Traore, they play him as a winger at Wolves, but of course, that guy started as a number 9 at Barcelona, when we put him in the Barca Academy and came through to the first team, it was a number 9. And this guy was known for just pace, strength, and he got bigger when he went to Wolves. So I think that game would have made a big difference if they used him as a number 9, threatening that back line a bit more with pace and physicality. And I think that was really lacking with the Spanish team. So
yeah, Mike, what's up?
So I agree with the end that yes, Adama should have played. I'm not sure I agree with the fact that Adama would have tested the back line. I think one thing that separated the Spanish attack from the Belgian attack, Belgium relied so much on Lukaku playing with his back to goal, laying off passes. And what you saw was that Belgium had no interplay. Right. So Tielemans, Kevin De Bruyne, they weren't getting far up the pitch. They're really just peppering balls in. And that's really comfortable for Bonucci and Chiellini. I mean, legends, great players. I'm not saying they're not that good, but there are ways to play against defenders like that. And Spain in the first half actually figured that out. So with Dani Olmo, he was making runs, playing as that false 9, making runs to their left and to their right. They had to respect it. It opened up space. So I think if you play Adama in that system, he then exploits that space a lot better than Oyarzabal did. So, I don't think it's because he would be faster than the back line or anything like that, even though that's true too. But I think mostly because it would have exploited that space, stretched the defense. And then when Morata comes on and your goal scorers, they have tap-ins, etc.
I mean, the game went all the way to extra time. That's where I believe he should have brought Adama in the last minute. He's not going to kick a penalty kick. You're just bringing him just for that last 30 minutes, let him run at those two guys and see what happens. You never know. Adama sometimes creates some miracle from somewhere. You'd be like, okay, where did that come from? Mark, anything to say?
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Archie. At the end of the day, if you look at who's playing, Oyarzabal missed 2 sitters. Right. At that point, if I'm Luis Enrique, I'm saying, okay, look, played a great tournament so far. like, what do you give? He's very left-footed. He was telegraphing all of his moves. At that point, I think Adama Traore coming into that situation would just rip their backline to shreds.
Right.
And I think particularly Enrique was probably looking for, honestly, PKs, looking at, okay, who are my best penalty kickers?
Right.
But again, game of inches, I think that's where you play to win the regulation, play to win extra time. Penalties, like, ultimately, it's a coin flip.
Right.
And that's just something you can't rely on.
I mean, both goalies were pretty good. So it could have gone any way, you know. Donnarumma, I think he's solid, but I don't think he's ready yet. And him going to PSG, he's probably going to, I don't know if it's going to make him better, because he's not going to be facing that kind of threat like he was facing in Italy. You know, if he wanted to get better, personally, I believe that he should have gone to Spain or gone to the EPL or go to Germany. Not that I'm calling La Ligue, you know, Ligue 1 Farmers League, but I'm just saying the team he's going to be on is not going to have any that much of threat. So I want to see how he's going to grow, you know. But let's go to their home versus Denmark trophy coming home, people. I have to give it up to Southgate. You know, he has done his own way. This is the only coach from England, whether he's English or non-English coach, that has done everything his own way. He didn't care about the media. He didn't care about the FA. And he changed personnel every single game. And it worked. So firstly, we have to give kudos to the coach. Now, England has surprised me. You know, when they went down, I was like, uh-oh, they're in Wembley. The fans are going to start booing. Pressure's going to rise. And Denmark was not a pushover. Denmark came to play. I mean, their counterattack was serious. You know, I believe that this is the game where they needed Eriksson, because he would have split those defense up. But let's talk about England and how they progressing through this, you know, looking at the England of the old and England of this tournament. Mark.
Yeah, so, like, I won't say I'm proud of England because I'm not an English fan. But one thing I'm very, it's commendable about Southgate, how much he trusts the young lads. Like the fact that Bukayo Saka is starting a major semifinal, Mason Mount, Phil Foden comes in, and then also he's not caving into the media pressure.
Media pressure,
you know,
right.
all the media talking about Jadon Sancho, put Jadon Sancho and put this player in.
Did he even play today?
He didn't even play today, and they got the job done. And especially almost every single goal they've been scoring, it's been
Man
a young
United.
player.
I mean, he brought Grealish in and took him up. Tell me if that's not kahunas.
Yeah, that's brave. It's brave,
You know?
and it pays off. You know,
It paid off, yeah. You know, Mike, what you got?
It paid off, but also all credit to the Danes. And I know English fans will say, you know, oh, well, we're the better team. That's not how football works. And you can't avoid the penalty. You can't avoid whatever that call was.
Right.
Also, the fact that the English have been able to play almost all of their games at Wembley in a supposedly neutral tournament, it's been stacked in their favor. And again, they take advantage. You know, you can't make an official make a good call or a bad call for you. And, you know, all credit for them. Maybe not credit to Harry Kane because, you know, he missed a penalty initially and again lucked out and it went right to his feet. But I think what you see with this English squad is that there is a realistic hope among the fans that they'll actually win. And that's the difference between this new England and the old England. Because even when you had Beckham, Lampard, Gerrard, the moment that David Beckham gets sent off, it's all pessimism. The moment that they fail, it's all pessimism. And I think with this, for some reason or another, there's a lot more skeptical optimism around this side. I don't think they'll beat Italy, but it's very possible because they're a team that thrives off that emotion.
Right.
And for the sixth time, they'll be playing in their home stadium for some inexplicable reason that UEFA has failed to explain. So not an asterisk, but you know, I think that England definitely they deserve
Somebody got
even
bought.
though they got the easy bracket, but you know, you play the hands that you get, and
Yeah.
they played well, so all credit to them.
Villa. Don't be mean to Sancho.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even gonna touch on Sancho tonight. So we'll just leave it out of the picture. But again, you know, from last performance that we saw from England, and then today's performance, you just went with a completely different squad. Of course, you have your starters, in the back line, and then Sterling and Kane, who have been consistent in the front. I think it was very commendable of him to play Xhaka on the wing,
right,
and then Mason Mount was being brilliant with Chelsea. I gotta give it to them, even though I don't like them as a Barca fan, But but I really have to give it up to the coach, and he's lucky as well. At the same time, he's lucky that he has the depth to experiment, the kind of depth that maybe a team like Spain would have taken advantage of, right? So you look at England, you take one player out of the from the field and bring another one who's also another superstar performing well in the EPL. So that's helped him a lot. Considering he has, you look at Champions League this year, Champions League, the teams who made it to the top, the last two, rounds were strong English teams and things like that. So that says a lot about the football power at the moment, right? So I don't think, yes, of course, there's luck, but he played his card right tonight. So that's what I have to say.
I mean, I consider England and Arsenal to kind of have the same storyline. Their fans talk so much, but achieve so little. This is the only tournament. This is the only tournament. England, yes, they started "It's coming home, it's coming home," but they all be kind of tame and be like, "Oh, it's coming home," but we hope that we get to the quarterfinals. It's coming home. Hopefully, we'll get to the semis. When they beat Germany, that's where the belief started.
That was the big test,
And you could even hate on that because they're gonna play Ukraine and they're gonna play Denmark, right? So it kind of like, okay, they just have to be careful, and they had the right coach to lead them, because he when you look at the coach, he was always cool. He never loses it. He doesn't feel flustered or sitting there like, worrying what we're gonna do next. He always has a belief in his players, which the players tends to like that. Even if when they make a mistake, he doesn't trip. He'll probably sit you down and, next time he put you back in. So I commend him. But quickly, England, Azuri, who are you going for? Mark?
I'm actually going to have to go with England. Conventional wisdom tells me Italy. I probably will be rooting passively for Italy, but I don't know, something about being in Wembley Stadium, which again, inexplicable, but like, I just think that it's the storyline so perfect for them.
Yeah.
I just don't see them getting battered. It'll be very close. But I think they have to shore up their back line a little. Denmark at times was running a riot between Stones and Maguire, who are two suspect center backs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think they have a good chance.
What? Mike?
This is tough because as much as I hated the way that England has progressed through this tournament, mostly the arrogance from both players and fans, there's not many national teams I hate more than Italy. Just almost everything about it. Mostly the theatrics, the diving, crying bloody murder when you get headbutted. So I'm neutral on this one. If Italy wins, good for football. If England wins, good because Italy loses. But I think this is going to be a close one. I have Italy 3-1, but 2 goals late on. So
that's a beat it in the final.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 3-1.
3-1. Wow. For a team that has not conceded a lot of goals in the tournament, and of course, those are the 2 teams in the tournament that have conceded the least goals. So for me, I think it might turn into a goal fest, or it might turn into a boring goalless match, but there'll be a strong counter attack on both sides. It is a tough one, and I think it might be either a 1-1 or 1-0. I don't know who is going to win this one, but if I had to pick one, I think Italy might come ahead because they know how to play the dirty game. And
Dark
they have an
arts.
older squad that has more
The
experience.
dark arts, yep.
So they might really get onto these English players' heads and make it ahead. So it's a tough one. I really want England to go through, and win this, but
Come on, man, pick one.
I'm rooting for England, but sadly, I have to say Italy is gonna win this. Sadly.
I believe it's going to be Italy. And the reason why is the only way England win this, you guys are going to call me biased, but it's okay, is if Henderson starts. Because he's the only one with experience in that English team. All right. If Italy's midfield wakes up, this game is over before it started. Verratti.
And as soon as you say Henderson, I was like, oh, here we go again, Liverpool.
Look, he's been playing Phillips, right? Phillips has been doing well. The kid from Leeds. This is his first tournament and he has done well. The coach has believed in him and he has proved his worth. I think against Ukraine, he was a little bit shaky. Even Germany, he was a little shaky, but he got his composure back. I like what Southgate's been doing. He's not going to start Henderson. Henderson is not fit. He can't play 90 minutes. But in this game, he needs to be able to contain the Italians because the Italians are cerebral. All their players are, I won't say they are tournament ready, but you got Bonucci, who that guy's been in how many tournaments already? That back line has been in how many tournaments already? All right. Verratti and Insigne, you see what I'm saying? Verratti and Insigne are the two dangerous players in that team. If Verratti get his own way in that English middle, it's over. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because when Liverpool played PSG, Klopp decided to do, we used to big fan of call it the Brexit midfield, which is Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Milner. Verratti was slicing left and right until he brought Keita and Fabinho. Then Verratti was in trouble. Okay, so it'll depend how he sets up his midfield. But I think this game is going to the Italians 2-1. I want England to win for the coach because he's been hated since he got there. And right now, he's the most successful English coach since the one who won them the World Cup, which doesn't count because there was only like 6 teams that played them. Right? So I'll give it to Italy, but I want my captain to win. But anyway, let's do a little quick synopsis on Brazil versus Argentina. Since this Copa started, we all knew that's what was going to happen. There was a little bit of drama here and there. Gabriel played Kung Fu, kicking somebody's face away. Argentina started very slow, but then, the attack started picking up. So
you mean Messi started picking up?
Messi's been balling. I'm going to give him that. This is the first tournament that I see that he's playing almost like Barcelona. This is the only tournament. Do not tell me about 2016 World Cup?
2014, no? Yeah.
2014, yeah, 2014 World Cup. He didn't do nothing. He got to the final, he didn't do nothing. What did he do? The best player of the tournament was, don't call me James Rodriguez.
We don't have to go over this.
Okay. I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying,
The coach was not right, and then the selection was also not being done right on the pitch. Let's put it that way.
Any more excuse? The sky was too dark.
There's no excuses.
What
I'm
are
just
the
saying.
lights?
no facts.
One of the lights wasn't bright enough. I mean,
Chemistry is important
I'm
for,
giving
for a
Messi.
team to win.
When everybody stayed away from praising Messi, he's close to winning that Copa. I mean, I don't want him to win because then, he wins a Copa, all of a sudden he's the greatest player since sliced bread, right?
No, I want him to win this so everybody can start out.
I mean, sliced bread was invented in what, 1930s? So yeah, I think he would be the greatest players.
Yeah, he won everything. So now everybody.
You're telling me he's better than Maradona?
Oh, come on, yes.
In what world?
In the world where they played for,
No,
we're not going to go over this.
2 minutes, Bella. We talked about this last time, right? Generation players, right? You put Maradona in this FIFA rule where if you have a bad breath, there's a foul. What do you think he would do to the league? Yes, I'll give Messi the goals. Maradona could never score as many goals as Messi does. But I'm talking about a player.
Well,
Nope.
I will put Maradona in the same bucket with Ronaldinho and leave the two of them in there, and then everybody else in a different bracket. You know why?
Why?
Because those two players are entertainers. They are there to make you enjoy the game and have fun. Of course, Messi is that, but Messi is more of, I'm here to destroy you as a player.
I agree.
I'll score goals and destroy you.
I agree.
Maradona comes to enjoy the game, have fun,
and destroy you. Ask the English. What do you think people are? They're not talking about the penalty that Sterling got, which personally I don't think it. I don't even gonna say it's a soft penalty. I'll give it to them. They learned the dark arts, right? In this game, you have to learn the dark arts. That's why I think, Mike would say he hates the Italians about. They flop around and all that kind. You got to learn that. It's part of the game. VAR was there. Why did VAR change the rule, the call?
These VAR at the end is just officials who are as idiotic as the head official making it. I mean, people wonder why the EPO has such a bad VAR rules. It has nothing to do with VAR. It's literally just
I'm talking about the referee. That's correct.
Yeah,
but
so same thing here.
But also, it has to do with money. English in the final in Wembley. That's a lot of people watching. So, but that's a whole different conversation for another time. But we got 30 seconds on that Messi Maradona thing. Who was talking? Mark, you got anything? You want some of this too?
I don't have a horse in this race.
Okay.
I think it's just, above all, so hard to compare players from eras.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff Maradona would probably get like reversed by VAR anyway because of his playing style. So the way I think of it is that I'm pretty sure Maradona's looking down and rooting for Messi, hoping that he destroys the Brazilians.
Oh, that one I agree.
So we'll see what happens.
I agree with that one, but I'm just saying, to me, there's not been any player on the planet that when he's in the game, you could say we are guaranteed to win. That Maradona.
I was going to say Pele. More so, Pele more so than Maradona. No.
Who?
Pele.
No, Maradona. Pele. Did you see the players around Pele?
Yeah. Did you see the players around Maradona?
What players were around Maradona? There's only like 3.
They don't talk about them, but
they don't.
What do you mean they don't talk about him?
This is a generational Argentine squad.
No. Okay, let's talk about Maradona going to Napoli. It's like Messi going to Brighton and make him win the EPL twice, back to back, and the European Cup.
That's a bit disrespectful.
You're talking about times when all the leagues.
That's when the Serie A was
basically farmer leagues.
No, that's when Serie A was the best league in the world at that time.
Yeah, it was crap.
What do you mean crap? What was the La Liga?
I'm telling you, those leagues you cannot compare the players back then and now.
Did you see how the defense
is different?
Did you see
now,
the defense?
What defense?
How back then the league, FIFA was not protecting the players.
There was no red card, so obviously they'll do taekwondo.
What do you think they would do to Messi?
Same thing they do to him now.
So now imagine.
Why they do? Why you can't even touch him? Touch him and see what happens.
Imagine if the game was actually clean. Let me see. If the game was clean,
yes,
right?
Back then,
of course, the players were not protected and everything. So you kind of had to learn how to like maneuver around it. You get hit, you get hit. right?
So imagine Maradona
Now,
in this
now
in
the
this
players
type of
are
rule.
protected. You have to play smart, which means increase your speed, increase your strength, increase your IQ.
Which
And I
Maradona
think
has all of that.
Soccer has become more
Things that Messi is
difficult.
doing, dude, things that Messi is doing now is stuff that I saw when Maradona was playing. So that's why I don't get excited about Messi unless he scores a goal, because the goals he
Yeah,
scores
the only
amazing.
difference is the pace is faster, man. The pace
And he
is
was
different.
quick. Maradona was real fast.
Of course he was, but I'm not saying
I mean,
that.
Then
I'm
nobody
saying
should tell me, oh, he
the
took
people
some
he was
crack.
playing
Crack
against
don't
was
make you that fast.
boo-boo.
But anyway, that's a whole conversation for another time. We will come back to that because that one needs to be debated. Let's talk about some
Leave
transfers.
Messi alone. Just admit the boy is playing well. That's
No,
it.
Messi. I told you last time, Messi is a generation talent. Now, will he do
Best
well?
player that the planet has ever seen.
Will he do well in the old days? I don't think.
Oh, absolutely. You would destroy. You'll be at 1,000.
No, he won't, because the defense will not allow him to score that many goals.
So he would allow Maradona, but not Messi.
Maradona didn't score that many goals.
Why?
The guy was running hurdles when he was playing the game. Do you see how they were tackling him? Why do you think you guys kicked him out of Barcelona?
Do you see how Messi was getting tackled?
Messi.
I'll send you a video of nasty challenges on Messi. You're gonna say, how did he get back up on that? Look at all the classicals, Sergio Ramos, Pepe. Look at what they did to him.
Maradona,
Oh my
World
God.
Cup, his foot was so swollen, one shoe was bigger than the other one.
Do you remember that game when Messi had to walk off the field to get treatment? He was walking without a boot on, right? Looking at the stadium at Bernabeu, looking at all the fans, and then he came back on a hat trick. Come on, man. Stop, man. I'm telling you.
I know the Messi
Messi
fans are going to destroy me.
Watch Liverpool games. You don't watch La Liga like that.
I watch La Liga. Maradona, everything Messi's doing is what Maradona already did. The only thing that Messi has over Maradona is those beautiful goals. Like the free kicks. Maradona didn't have that.
So he will score more than Maradona for sure.
If Maradona was in this generation, he would score more than what he'd score back.
Nah, all the weed he was smoking, nah.
I wish I could. I don't condone.
Allegedly.
I'm saying
Okay,
if people have to smoke weed and play like that, trust me, the weed industry will be the richest industry on the planet.
All I'm gonna say is that you can't just really fault. You can't fault Messi for playing in the modern game. That's
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And guess who made that happen for him? Maradona.
Absolutely, he made it happen and he took it around with it.
Yeah, the FIFA realized we have to protect him. Look at Ronaldo, R9. He was never protected because that guy. Go back and watch R9 games, and you'll be like, "What is this? He's alien." When he went to Italy, they broke his knees. That's why when he came to Spain, he was too late. He should have gone to Spain instead, right? But that's conversation for another time. We may have to schedule
me on his own, but
I mean, he was too fast, but we will discuss that on another time. Let's talk about some transfers, right? Silly season, tournament is going on. Oh, by the way, we forgot. Mark, Brazil. Oh, Argentina.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Argentina. Argentina.
Bella.
Yeah, Messi.
I'm gonna go with Argentina just because Brazil has looked unimpressive, particularly against Peru.
I believe that I used to love Argentina until this media love to Messi, so I switched, and I don't like Brazil. I hope they both lose, but that's impossible. I have a feeling Messi's going to pull this out.
Brazil, I don't want Brazil to get a shine right now. They don't deserve any shine at the moment. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I will want Messi to win just to hear what the media has to say and fan lovers like Mike and Bella. But I also don't mind my boys, from Brazil,
From Liverpool, you don't say Fabinho.
Allison, Fabinho, Firmino. I don't mind them winning, but I would say
they can stay trophyless.
You know what?
Season.
Just to make Bella mad, I'm gonna say Brazil is winning this 3-0.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 2.
Also, yeah, at least two.
That's it too. All right, transfers. Arsenal. You guys have been linked to every player on this surface. I'm surprised you guys are not even linked to Messi. Messi is unemployed as we speaking. The man is collecting unemployment checks. What's going on right now? Give me three players that you want right now.
All right, 3 players that I want, or 3 players that I think we're actually going to sign?
3 players you want.
Okay, 3 players I personally want.
Yeah.
I want Hassan from Lyon. I think just the way he finds space, changes the game. That's something that we haven't seen at Arsenal in a while. I do want Ben White from Brighton. I was one of the fans that was a little skeptical about it. I'm like, what do we need another center back? We have William Saliba. But if you watch the way that he carries the ball, like, it's so impressive. And I don't know, for a 3rd player, I was really, really excited about the prospect of Locatelli, especially since Jacques is going, but I'm convinced that's a smokescreen. I'm convinced that CEOs and like executives use Arsenal like a utensil. They're like, oh, I can use this to ups my transfer value for something else.
Right.
So it's a weird situation. I think that a lot of it is the way we've done transfers in the past couple of years, using super agents, using connections, and because of that, you get a lot of noise from people who are trying to get their clients.
You don't want another Pepe, huh?
See, the thing is that I'm actually a big fan of Nico Pepe. And I'm going to tell you why he's going to be – I can give you a 15-minute rundown on why he's going to be one of the top players in the EPL next season, but I'll spare you that.
We were told last year and this year. What happened?
He was one of our top scorers and top assisters, along with Bukayo Saka. I mean, the boy can ball. It's just
he could dribble, but he always dribble on the corner line and stay there by himself. I mean, I'm just saying.
He has to get playing time, and the second thing he needs is space from his right back.
But right now, with the emergence of Saka, he's not going to get enough play.
I mean, that's true, but it depends on whoever we buy. So if we end up getting a wing player, I think you'll see his playing time going down. If we don't, Saka can play on the left wing. He can play as basically a wing back. He could probably even play forward, midfield. That boy can literally do it.
There is a wing back?
Yes, like left back.
Pepe is not tracking all the way forward and coming back.
Oh no!
I wish Arteta would do that against Liverpool. Please.
No. I'm talking about Bukayo Saka.
So Saka.
You could play Pepe and Saka on the same side. You can play whoever our right back will be, as long as it's an attacking right back.
Right.
But yeah, it's a little disappointing to have to wait till after the Euros, because part of me wants us to settle and get all of our business out of us before kind of the crazy parts of the transfer window come. But I also have confidence. There's a lot of pressure on the owners to actually spend.
I think this year they tried, so they have to cast their net wide and see who they could get. They can't just go for particular players like last year and then miss out on the players. So
yeah, absolutely.
Right. Haaland, Billa, today they were talking about Uncle Abraham decided to cut the check. 150 mil. What do you think? Is it going to happen, or is it just Chelsea people? Because now they're paranoid. At first, they thought they were going to buy everybody.
Like I said, if Chelsea is going to buy Haaland, they need to start cleaning house too, you know? Otherwise, the team is not going to have the right dynamic, especially with the forwards. They have so many, right? So, will he go and sign for Chelsea? Possibly. You know, he'll go where the money's at. They're Champions League winners. And they're just gonna come to, reinforce that attacking line and possibly go for a treble. But it's not easy to win the EPL because anyone can just surprise you like West Ham or Leeds United. So, you have to be ready and have players like him who can finish and kick Timo to the side. So,
Timo is the greatest striker of all time. Be careful.
According to Frank.
So, Mike,
I think it might happen. It might happen. I just don't want to see it happening, but it might happen.
Okay. Last video I did, I said Pogba, what's up? right? This dude came to Man U. It's like me coming to your town, and the day that I step in, I want to get out. It doesn't make sense. What do you think Pogba should be doing? And also, I made a comment. I said Balotelli has had a better club career than Pogba, and we can't find Balotelli anymore. When you hear the first time, it's like, this is ridiculous. So let's break it down. Balotelli has won the Champions League when he was in Inter. He won the Serie A almost the same amount as, because when Jose was in Inter, they won it 3 times. And he won 1 year, he won the treble over there. Pogba hasn't done that in Italy.
Oh, he also won the Premier League with Man City.
With Man City, and he won.
He
the
had that
domestic
assist one with Aguero.
Aguero, and he has got those 2 little trophies that comes with it. The only trophy that Pogba has is Europa and an FA Cup.
Wait. You're just gonna discount the World Cup?
World
No,
Cup,
that's what
my
I said club career.
Okay, club. Just check.
Club career. The World Cup, that's the reason why the frustration is. We saw what he did in the World Cup. We saw what he did this Euro. He was the best player in the Euro until they were exited, right? Right now,
let me tell you, when Man United purchased Pogba, it was the right player, wrong time. Why? Because Man United did not have a team that can win trophies.
You know how
they were trying to rebuild.
Let me
they were trying to rebuild, but they did not have a team that can win trophies. They look dangerous now. And the players that I had have matured to be able to make it second of the Premier League, right? But again, you look at it,
so first
Manchester United did not have a spot. And on top of that, they put so much pressure on Pogba as if he came in to be the goal scorer that can lead United to winning trophies. No.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the statement when you guys mentioned the World Cup. You saw him how he played in the World Cup. I don't think he was the best player then, but he was balling. You saw him how he played.
Who did they have in that team?
Let me finish. When he played Euro, what do you think? What happened? He balled out. Compare that to any. Pogba has been there almost 5 years. They've changed him. They played him from the only position he hasn't played is being a goalkeeper at Manchester United. So, Mike, forget what Billa is saying. Oh, he hasn't did this, he hasn't did that, he hasn't did that.
Yeah, all I was gonna say is Pogba, think about the players you have at Man United. Compare them with the
it doesn't matter because guess what?
That's all I gotta say.
Bruno Fernandes has showed up to Man U and done what Pogba was supposed to do in the first place.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah. So, Mike, so what should Pogba do? Because personally, I think he needs to ball out and take Man U to a promised land, right?
Right.
And then leave.
And then leave, right?
And then leave because you've done your job because that's why they brought you there for. But you haven't done it. Yes, you have injuries. Yes, the media doesn't like you. 1 year, the team was horrible. But dude, 80 million, you were the truth.
Yeah, well, I think it's 2 things. One, we treat Man United like they're not Manchester United. Ever since Alex Ferguson left, that club has been in disarray. Like, even though Ole Gunnar has done a decent job so far, right. And they did finish second, but they finished second in a historically bad Premier League when it comes to the top clubs, right. And a COVID Premier League where there's a lot of turnover as far as like a whole bunch of games being played.
100.
And of course, taking nothing away from Paul Pogba, he had a decent season, but we act as if the Paul Pogba that plays for France and that plays for Man United, kind of what Bila is saying, I halfway agree. It's still Man U, and it's not the players. It's not, because like you said, Bruno Fernandes comes into Man U and he excels in some ways, right? And there's plenty of players who have transferred in the time that Pogba has been there that have done well. At base, though, it was a reactionary buy when Man U bought him. They bought him without a plan. They bought him because he was a former youth player that was coming home, selling a whole bunch of shirts. It was just move for the popularity? Is a move because
Now,
we're
let me
getting a
ask you,
big player?
from the statement you made, if say Alex was there, do you think they'll buy him?
So now I'm a heavy critic of Alex Ferguson.
Thank you, Mark.
So to be fair, I'm not saying that Sir Alex Ferguson won it because he didn't have the quality. Sir Alex Ferguson won it because there's nothing about Paul Pogba that suggests Man United football. And Man United, the year that he was bought, was in, I mean, shambles isn't even the word to describe them. Like they had no identity. They still don't really have much of an identity. And you put a world-class talent like Paul Pogba in that type of system, and it's either you can build a system around him, so surround with players who fit his playing style, or he's going to be riding a bench like he did under Mourinho. So as far as what he should do, frankly, he's going to see out the rest of his contract, because I'm not a fan of his agent, but he even makes comments like, "Oh, don't ask me about my contract. My agent's taking care of it." So you already see like where his mind is. So certainly he's 1 foot out of the door, but what you're going to see is if he leaves soon enough, and still in his prime, you're going to see people say, "Wow, Paul Pogba is actually trying at this club." It's not that he wasn't trying; he was playing for Man United, a team that just didn't have anything going for them at the time, and they're just now catching up to all of the potential that they've had. And fortunately for Man U, they haven't sold him yet. But if let's just say they win the Premier League next year, the difference would be just them having a year more of patience with a player that failed by and large in his time with the club.
But this is what I would say though. When he's in France, he's being held accountable. In that World Cup season, if you go back, the players got together and they told him, none of this Pogba hair color that. So if you go back, watch the game, he never colored his hair in the World Cup. He let his hair grow out until after the World Cup, then he colored it again. The players told him, you're going to be tracking back and helping the defense. You're not just going to sit there and just have Kante or Sissoko run around, and when you get the ball, you want to have that fancy, nice trick to the attack. If you lose the ball, come back. So they held him accountable. And of course, the French media are not nice. They will hold you accountable, right? The English press, yeah, they will raise you up and destroy you at the same time. But the thing is, the Man U and the Man U team does not hold him accountable. They make more excuses for him. What he should have done is tell them, guys, let me finish. I need the players. I need the players to make me great. If you're going to spend 80 million pounds on me, give me the right tools to get in there. Right now, they could let Pogba go and they will still be doing well with Sancho and Bruno. All they need is another, maybe a CDM to help to show up the midfield and have Bruno run around by himself. The thing with Balotelli's agent is a powerhouse. Raiola is an enigma to everybody. Nobody likes it, and he doesn't care, right? So if you have a talent like that, you need to tell him, hey, I need these players. Messi is not going to a team where he's going to be doing all the doggy work. No, get those players ready and put me in the right place. And when you look at France, he got who behind him? Kante, which personally I believe there's like 3 of them in every game, right? And then he got who's the third midfielder?
Rabiot
or Matuidi.
And those guys they all workhorses. So which allow Pogba to just get the ball and dish it to Mbappe or Griezmann. So if Pogba wants to shine, he needs to let them know, hey guys, please help me. I need these kind of players. You don't have to play how I was playing in Juventus, but you could at least give us the tools for me to shine. Bella, what do we talk? Why did they buy Van der Beek? That's another Pogba on the team. What was the purpose of that?
Terrible buy.
You see what I mean? So, but if we decide to talk about Pogba, we're gonna be here.
I'll just say that Pogba's career at Manchester United has been just as bad as the turnover in the management. So let it leave it at that.
They have had the best management. What's the name? Mourinho, best manager on his generation at the time when he started. Pep just overthrew him.
Wait, but when he was at United though?
No, as him as a coach, he's a great manager.
I'm
You can't-
talking about the management of United, not of who the coach was. I'm talking about the management of Manchester United since the departure of Alex Ferguson has been theatrical.
Yeah, that's
So,
facts. Yeah, that's facts.
Bringing a player like Pogba into a theatrical management team or managed team with players who are not world class. Come on. To me, it just reflects on his performances. Now you put Pogba around world class players, that guy will give you what you know.
But
you
see,
bought
that's
him
where
for.
that's where I remember we're talking about generation players. If I put Messi in any team,
Everybody's different. You cannot compare
wait.
players who can.
If I put Messi in any team, Messi still shines. He might not shine as he is in Barcelona with
You
great
can't
players around him.
You can't
but-
compare Pogba with Messi
No,
or
no.
Ronaldo.
Look at
They're
the
not
talents.
the same players, not same positions.
Let me bring it down to player like Pogba. Fernandez came to Man U and balled out. That's why
Before
everybody.
Fernandez went to Man U, who was Fernandez?
But when he came in, he balled out, right?
He has something to prove because they're talking about, well, I hope he's going
Pogba
to do
doesn't?
something, and then he's going to ball out.
Pogba doesn't.
He's criticized so much in the
No,
press.
I'm not talking about the criticism. I'm talking about the talent because, like I said, we saw the talent at the Euro 2020 and we saw it at the World Cup 2018. 2018, right? No. Yeah, the last World Cup.
Yeah.
He had less pressure than Pogba coming into Man U, though.
Yeah, to Billy's
I agree
point,
with that, but I'm saying the talent, the skill, that doesn't
You
pressure or
can't
not.
compare.
Pressure
Pogba's
or not.
passing is out of this world. You can't compare Fernandez with
How many
Pogba
times
on
does he
that
do
level.
that? How many times does Pogba do that?
Or in the game?
Yeah.
So what are you trying to say? That's where I'm trying to say. Where are you going with that question?
Exactly. That's exactly what my point is. When Pogba has time, he would do all those fancy tricks that you're talking about. But when you're playing in the EPL, people are not going to give you that much time for you to be doing that. Close your eyes, looking on the right, and then shoot the ball to the left. That is not going to happen. You got to be quick.
But, I mean, Man City does that all the time. So
Have you seen how fast Man City run?
exactly, you can't compare Man U players.
No, it's
with
not nothing to do with
any
the
other
players.
top teams right
It has
now.
nothing to do with the players. Okay. Man U players playing a team like
And
Fulham.
that same team beat Liverpool. Oh my goodness.
Which
I
team?
cannot.
Which team beat us?
Man U, yeah.
Man U beat Liverpool this year? Did we beat
Did
them
you guys
4-1? Did we beat them 4-2 in your house?
I mean, it is
So-
Man United, so
Okay. But guys, as we still talking about Pogba, Messi is still unemployed. What's going on?
Copa America is busy trying to win that Copa. Let him be.
I think
How does a team like Barcelona let Messi contract runs out?
so. Quite simple.
You guys don't respect the man. That's what I'm saying.
No. It's not about respect. It's about poor management when it comes to contracts. So what you have in Barcelona is a unique situation where Messi obviously brings in a lot of the revenue for the club. Right? It's Leo Messi, but not only that, like the club itself generates quite a bit. So there's a lot of just overhead management going on. So what you saw with Josep Bartomeu, when he came in for Central Rosell, of course, the looming figure of that was the Neymar transfer and the financial mishaps that come with that. So with that transfer, I mean, it ended with Rosell in prison, right? And then with Bartomeu, he sort of midway through his reign, that's when Neymar leaves, and then you have a huge, vacuum. All of the prices everywhere in the world go up, and all of a sudden you have ridiculous not so good players going for 80 million.
Coutinho?
And well, yeah, Phil Coutinho.
Dembele.
I would just like to point out that people blame Barcelona for that.
Griezmann?
Literally all it was that they knew that we had Neymar's money, and by and large they extorted us for it, and we just didn't have a president who
Something
was...
that Barcelona does to everybody.
Okay, we can get into that. We can get into that debate later. But basically what happens with Messi's contract is that Bartomeu had done a practice of renewing him like every 1 or 2 years.
Every year he renews, yeah.
So I think maybe it was 1 year that it was like a 2-year extension. and it was sort of always the terms of it were that you could leave whenever you want. And I mean, that's the luxury of being the best player in the world. That's the luxury of being a player who is so important, a large part of the revenue. And of course, regardless of what you may think of his goal scoring ability or clearly, I mean, the numbers can be inflated, but he deserves what his contract is, football terms, right?
Absolutely. In terms of the money, he deserves everything that's given to him.
Right. So we come to a point now where, because of what happened last August specifically, and the humiliation at Bayern, and moreover what Bartomeu had been doing with Bartomeu had been doing with the contracts. So we're talking about buys like Douglas. We're talking about buys like Mateus, who basically a lot of deals that seem like money laundering if you're getting into it.
And then Roma in the house.
Bartomeu is put in a position where he mismanages for so long, where he can no longer honor a contract that.
Let's be honest. Barcelona has been mismanaged before Bartomeu.
Well, no, Sandro Rosell.
Not to this level. Not at this.
No,
level.
I agree with that. But the thing is,
it starts with Sandro Rosell, because again, like the foundation of it. So in Barcelona, there's two competing ideas when it comes to presidential politics. There's Cruyffism, and then there's Nunoism. So president in the 80s, 90s, Nuno, he believes in the sort of whole Galactico thing. We're bringing in a lot of players. So even though Bartomeu and even Rosell claimed to like evoke Johan Cruyff, clearly were Nunoists. So what they were doing a lot, instead of relying on La Masia, instead of going and betting on players, and that's why you saw a whole dearth of talent shipped out. And I mean, Neymar has been incredible when he was in Barcelona, but at the same time, you went and you spent all that money for a Brazilian wonder kid, right? And that sort of attitude compounded itself, starting with Sandro Rosell, compounded itself to the point where Bartomeu, who by and large isn't a bad businessman, but not great at running a football club, can't go and honor a basic contract, and the whole Berfo tax thing happens. And
didn't he go 2 terms?
Bartomeu?
Yeah.
So, and again, this is why I'm a huge proponent of the fact that you never make overhead footballing decision based on short-term success. So we won a treble in 2014. As a president, you can't lose. And I would just also like to point out, this is why the presidential politics and having a democracy as a club, having founding members, having socios like you have in Barcelona, even though in many ways, theoretically, it's a better way to run a club. And I do believe so. You avoid what happened with the Super League by and large, even though Barcelona was involved. But at the foundation, it was greedy businessmen, right? But of course, the downside is that, if you're popular, you re-win election. And so now with Laporte, supposedly the report was that Messi was rooting for him to win, that there's going to be a turnaround. And he seems confident that he'll resign. And of course, the problem is, where does that money go? We have to shed about, I don't know how much money in contracts, and
like
you have to get rid of all that dead weight, basically.
Basically, you are broke. And you try to resign Messi to close to $1 million a week.
Well,
which he deserves.
Secret is everyone's broke.
We have some money coming in at the moment. We also
you have 400. You got a loan
the
for
new
450
president was able
450,
to,
right?
The
50 of them is going to Messi's salary.
I mean, the new president, he was able to make some deals where, we paid off the loan. That was a short-term loan that we had to pay off. That put us in really dangerous position. So he paid that off, and then was able to sign new deals with other banks in the United States, right? So things are working better financially right now, where we could afford salaries and all that, but we have to reduce our pay by 200,000. According to La Liga Federation, they there's a salary cap, and then we're over that, so we have to reduce it. And of course, we're looking at offloading players like possibly Dembele or Griezmann, Coutinho. Who's gonna buy him? We don't know. So
make sure you give us our 20 million back, because you still owe us. Now, Mark,
Bradway needs to go. Anyways,
aren't you so happy you're not Barcelona as much as you guys been demonizing Kroenke?
See, I mean,
Can you imagine the turmoil that they are in at Arsenal?
see, the thing is that at Arsenal, the good thing is the pain is constant, so we get used to it. No, but seriously, it's one of those things that on the record, I'm Kroenke out. But I'm Kroenke out because he's a greedy American businessman who destroys every single sports club that he's associated with. He moved the Rams out of St. Louis to literally a city with now, what, 2 major football teams in a city that doesn't really care about American football.
Have you seen the stadium?
It's crazy. And Inglewood too.
Oh my goodness.
And then also, like, again, he's just a terrible businessman. But aside from that, a lot of the discussions around our ownership change comes with turmoil. And that's unfortunately or fortunately, football is a business at the end of the day. And I think Barcelona is just a great example of that business sometimes can block even the best of intentions. So now for good old Arsenal, if you guys have to ship off, I don't know, Serginho Dest because we may need a right back, hey, I mean, just throw some alley-oops to us.
Keep dreaming.
I don't know. Phil Coutinho for a couple million. I don't know. No. But it's also the way the football economy works, and I do believe in balancing the economy. Barcelona, whether or not it was their fault or not, broke football with the Neymar to PSG transfer. From then, literally, football was unable to balance itself. What you're seeing now with COVID, the weights are starting to balance back. So a lot of the teams that were not complicit, but that were responsible for a lot of those shifts are now having to pay the Pied Piper. So I think even though it's poor for Barca fans, I'm pretty sure you guys are going through it as well.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think Messi's going to resign. I don't think there's much. I think it's just monetary.
He wants to resign.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the salary they're trying to give him does not make sense to even that. The FA is like, dude, you broke. You can't give him that kind of money.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that and it still will work well for world football, especially after the Super League and the amount of money that potentially flew around. Essentially, teams are just going to have to go back to roots, to their academies, to existing talent, and at root that can only be good for football.
That's why Mbappe is coming to Liverpool. Because
it's real, Archie. Relax.
Huh?
Liverpool.
Madrid is broke as Barca, except that Madrid. Broker, as a matter of fact, broker.
But people don't talk about it.
They don't talk about it, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Their marketing people are geniuses, right? And the thing also that people don't talk about is Madrid and, I mean, the Bernabeu and the Nou Camp are both being remodeled and expanded, which is a lot of money. Now, because of COVID, the Spanish government can't bail you guys out anymore. Yes, you guys bring a lot of tourism to the country, so it kind of pay itself out. But because of COVID, you're not going to go bail a football team out. Hence the reason why you both struggling, and that's why Perez was pushing for the Super League.
And like pretty much what it is that Barcelona, I don't know what the percentage is, but clubs like Barcelona got hit among the worst out of the big teams.
Liverpool, we lost almost 120 million.
If only. And like I think unfortunately what happens is FFP it's a ridiculous role, and UEFA needs to change it because FFP ends up working for clubs like PSG because they end up.
No. That one I disagree. FFP was put there to slope clubs like PSG and City.
Well, maybe in theory, but in practice, it certainly doesn't. Because in essence, what you have is clubs like Barcelona, Madrid, particularly because they're presidential, so they can't. And then clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal, because I would argue the owners don't want to, aren't injecting all this money into football. And FFP is all about balancing books, right?
Right.
And what you have is you can have PSG, City to a lesser extent maybe than PSG.
Yeah, Cousins will give them a contract.
Right. So unfortunately, in a world where COVID has hit us all, and if Messi were to sign anywhere, PSG should have the exact same problem signing Messi as Barcelona would have. But, because they have a whole bunch of really, really, really rich men backing them that problem just simply doesn't exist while it should. So even though Mark was talking about maybe this will lead to football equity, as long as UEFA is, not really serious about FFP, it's just simply not going to happen.
I mean, the FFP, they said this year is going to be relaxed. So that should tell you how they think about that. However, I think Barcelona needs to be creative. City, if City gets Messi, they're not going to give him that salary. What they would do is they will structure it based on future business endeavor. Like Beckham did with the LA Galaxy. They promised him a team when he comes there. So they paid him, what, 250, which was a lot of money. But he brought more people, he brought way more money to the MLS. So what City would do is, because City has all that small sub teams around the world, they would tell him, we will get you a team, either in America, Australia, or wherever you want. So they would structure it that way so that they could pay him $400,000 a week. And you'd be like, why are you paying him so much more? But no, but the future, he will probably own his own rights. So that will get him more money. So Barcelona needs to be creative. Either you guys have no more assets or nothing else, so you can't come up with these strategies. But hey, guys, we talked. We need to do this again. I appreciate your coming. I'm going to be holding all you guys for I put everybody's name here. I'm the only one who said Italy's going to win, right?
Wait, I said Italy.
Oh, was it Brazil? Oh, I said Brazil's going to win. Although I hate,
Yeah,
I
Brazil,
don't,
Brazil.
I said Brazil, so my apologies. But guys, thank you so much. Billa, Mark, Mike, do you guys want to tell the folks where they can reach you or your socials?
Yeah, sure. I guess Instagram at Mark Siebert, CEBERT. Yeah.
Instagram at, what's my Instagram handle? Michael AXC, I think. Yeah, Michael AXC or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is simple, Bila. My name is Bila, and then my Instagram will be at OHBILA KAY. Bila K. Yeah, that's me.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us at Crazy Bowl TV. We appreciate you all. Please subscribe. Our goal is to hit 30. Like and share. Send those algorithms out, please. Guys, thank you for coming. Archie, we out.